Just a minute, madam. Just. Good morning, participants. Very warm welcome to all of you. Today's morning session is programming languages and the basic instructions of PLC. And the resource person is Dr. D. Kalpana, assistant professor from MIT, Madras Institute of Technology, Chennai. She completed her UG degree in the year 2006 at Anna University and PG in the year 2009. And she completed her PhD in 2016. She joined in as a lecturer in Manakula Vinayagar Engineering College, and he worked there for a period of 1 year. And between 2010 and 12, she worked as a assistant professor, grade 1 in Panimala Institute of Technology. And she joined in MIT as an assistant professor in the year 2012, and she is working till now. She published 3 papers in the international journals and attended conferences in more than 3 numbers. And she participated and conducted more than 19 workshops, like seminars and workshops, etc. And she also delivered lectures in various institutions in and around Chennai. So, and on behalf of our institution, I personally welcome Dr. D. Kalpana ma'am for the session. Thank you, ma'am, and hand out to you. Ma'am. Ma'am, நீங்க கண்ணே பண்ணலாம் மேடம்.
Sir?
Ma'am.
Sir, can you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, actually that introduction about me, I think you have searched in my website. It is long back updated, and after that I have published more papers, and I have also published one important book called Linear and Nonlinear System Theory.
Okay.
And thank you for your brief introduction, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay, sir. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Kalpana, working as assistant professor in the Department of Instrumentation Engineering, MIT campus for past 8.5 years. And today I'm going to take the lecture on programming languages and basic instructions. So I'm going to discuss about what is PLC. I hope in the last class they have discussed about, in the yesterday's class they have discussed about the block diagram of PLC as per your programming schedule. And also I'm going to discuss about what is PLC programming languages and PLC programming languages, where it is formed, and what type of programming languages we have to choose, and the basic instructions like load input instructions, store output instructions, timer and counter instructions, set and reset instructions. Also, some of the other basic instructions and ladder diagram, functional block diagram, structure test, instruction list, and sequential function chart. So this is the content I am going to discuss today. And after finishing this theory part, one of my research scholars will practically implement the courses software in front of you, and you can able to have a real feel of how to implement the program in the software. So she will take nearly 15 minutes to cover that. And you all know what is PLC. It is a programmable controller. It can be also called as programmable controller, and it is an industrial digital computer. So this is mainly used for controlling the manufacturing processes, and it always requires high reliability, ease of programming, and the process fault diagnosis. So it is an example of hard real-time system. So here we are using the output results, which is mainly produced in response to the input conditions. So within a limited time, we can have some input conditions. Based on the input conditions, it will produce the output results. So it is mainly a programming language. We all know it is a formal language which comprises a set of instructions. Can you able to follow me?
Yes, ma'am. Small changes.
Yes, sir.
Actually, the next session is timer, counter, instruction exclusively. So you can leave that one. You can remaining thing you can cover.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. No issues.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So, so it is a hard real-time system. So we can able to produce the output based on the input conditions within a limited time. So we all know the programming language is a formal language which is mainly comprising a set of instructions, and programming languages are mainly used in computer programming. It is based on the implementing the algorithms. We can have a step-by-step procedure algorithms, and based on that it can produce us the output. And the most programming languages, we are using the instruction. We are using the instruction for computers. In PLC programming language, it is a formal language. So which is mainly comprising of set of instruction. So it is able to produce various kinds of outputs and for updating the system. And able to write the programs in PC, and the same program can be transferred via cable or USB to the PLC. Normally, the program will be done in a PC, that is personal computer, by using the basic instruction or advanced instruction, and that can be transferred to the PLC via a cable or USB port. So these programs are mainly stored in a non-volatile memory, so which is mainly used to ensure that the process designed to control continue to run smoothly. So to continuously run the operation, we can write the program by using the instruction set, and that can be transferred to the PLC by means of cable or USB, and we can able to control the operation. So that is the basic principle behind the PLC programming and PLC. So how the PLC programming languages were formed? So in earlier, it is represented as IEC 1131 standard. Now they are representing it as IEC 61131, which is an International Electrotechnical Commission standard for programmable controllers. So here we are having 5 different languages, different programming languages: ladder diagram, functional block diagram, structure test, instruction list, and sequential function chart. So in this ladder diagram, functional block diagram, and sequential function chart will comes under graphical method. Structure text and instruction list will be grouped as a textual method. So then which PLC programming languages we have to choose? So that is mainly depends upon the following factors. So industry or workplace requirement, application specific, PLC specifications and available software packages, complexity of the task, and programmers interest. For example, suppose if in our lab we are having a logo software, the logo software can able to support only 3 languages: ladder diagram, functional block diagram, and structure test. Suppose if it is a Schneider PLC, so the Schneider PLC can able to support all 5 languages that we have discussed in the last slide. That is ladder diagram, functional block diagram, structure test, instruction list, and sequential function chart. So vendor to vendor, the availability of programming languages, different programming languages will get. So what is the type of software we have procured? So based on that, we can able to use any type of programming languages. And the most commonly used programming languages is a ladder diagram, because it is easy to implement and it is easily understandable one. So the basic instructions are load or input instruction. It is normally represented as examine if closed, examine if open, positive transition sense, negative transition sense. So examine if closed and examine if open will comes under relay logic instruction. Positive transition sense and negative transition sense will come under input transition sensing instructions. So next is store or output instructions. So here we are using output energize, negative output energize, output latch, set and output unlatch and reset. So the under timer instruction, we are having T on, T off and RTO. And under counter instruction, we are having CTU, CTD, that is counter up and counter down. And under set and reset instruction, we are having reset, RES. RES stands for reset instruction. So the next is about load or input instruction. So this is a symbol we are using. It can be normally called as normally open contact. So this symbol can be represented as normally open contact. So this contact will be active, or it will produce the result as 1 when the control bit is 1. When the control bit is 1, it can produce the output as 1. So the next symbol is normally closed contact. So here this contact will be active, or it can result as 1 when the control bit is 0. So here it will produce the result as 1 when the control bit is 1, and the normally closed contact will produce the control output as 1 when the control bit is 0. So next is contact in the rising edge. So this contact will be active during a scan cycle when the control bit has a rising edge. And next is contact in the falling edge. So this will be active when the control bit has a falling edge. So this is about load or input instructions. Next is load, sir.
Where will be this rising edge and falling edge instructions will be used for?
So normally we won't use, sir, when we are using the counter and timer instruction, that time we will prefer that, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Normally we use normally open and normally closed contact.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Mostly we are using this normally open.
Yes, sir. So while doing the timer, by using the timer and counter instructions in the rising edge and the falling edge, if you want to do some other action, so that time we will prefer these two, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So next is load relay logic instructions. So this is about examine if closed. So the same, what is the instruction we have discussed in the last. So this is the, we used to say that this is a rail and this is a rung. So whenever the energy flow, the input is on, or we can call it as it is closed. So if the energy is blocked, then the input is off, or it can be represented as open. So this is a example for, this is the representation of examine if closed. So the first one is the examine if closed. So the symbol will be like this. So whenever there is a energy flow, that is the power supply will be available, and there is a transition of energy in the run, the input will be on or closed. So if there is no energy, it can be in the idle state, that is the input will be off, or it can be represented as open. So next is examine if open. So normally it is in open condition, that is the input is, if there is a energy flow, if the input is off, or it is open condition. If there is no energy, that is the energy is blocked, so the input will be on, or it is in closed condition. So this is the two important symbol we are normally using, the instructions we are using for programming the ladder logic by using PLC. So this is about the positive transition sense. The input has changed from off to on when there is a energy flow, and if there is no energy, then there is no change, that is it is from on to off. So this is for negative transition sense. When there is a energy flow, the input will has changed from on to off. So if there is no energy, that is energy is blocked, there is no change in the input. Input did not change or changed from off to on. So this will be useful. This instruction will be rarely used in the PLC. So next is store and output instruction. So this symbol is used to store the, that is this is a coil. So this will the function activates the coil. Suppose if you use this symbol, the inverse result of the logic function will activate the coil. And next is the result of the logic function energize the relay. So this is to set the latch, and this symbol is used for reset the latch. So next is output energize. If the condition of the, that is in the left side, we used to have all the input instruction. In the output right side, we will have the output. So if the left side of the program is true, if the left side of the program is in your run, if the left side of the instruction is true, it can produce the output in the right side. So if the condition of the left link of the OT is on, that is output energy is on, then the corresponding bit in the output data memory set is 1. That is, it is set to be 1. So if it is negative, then we can use this instruction. So next is output latch set and output unlatch reset set. If the condition of the left link of the OTL is momentary on, then the corresponding bit will be in set condition, or otherwise it is in reset condition. So for that only we are using these two instructions, that is OTL and OTU. So 1 minute, sir. So I hope timer instructions will be taken by some other faculty, right? Shall I skip, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Timer and the counter instruction, the other faculty will take. I'm skipping that. So the other important PLC instructions are relay type instruction, that is input, output, OSR, set, reset, timer, counter, and data handling instructions. Data move instruction. Data move instruction is move, copy, FLL, TOD, FRD, DEG. So these are all the instruction we can use for advanced applications. And comparison instructions, that is equal, not equal, greater, and greater than. Mathematical instructions we can use. Continuous control instructions like PID instruction. If you want to perform any continuous operation, we can go for PID control instructions. And program flow control instruction, that is MCR, master control reset, jump, label, JSR, SBR, return, SUS, REF, and specific instructions like BSL, BSR, SQO, and SQL, and high speed counter instructions such as HSE, HSL, RES, and HSE is available, and other communication instructions like MSQ and SVC, and ASIC instructions are available. So these are all the other PLC instruction we are rarely use for advanced programming. So next is ladder. So ladder diagram is one of the oldest and simplest method, programming method, which is universally practiced by all to program a PLC. It is the oldest method, simplest method, and it is universally practiced by the programmers to program a PLC. So this will comes under a graphical programming languages. It can evolve from electrical relay circuits. So each program statement is represented with a horizontal line called the rank. So this is the horizontal line. So this can be called as rank, and the vertical line can be called as a rail. The vertical line here can be called as a rail, and the horizontal line can be called as a rung. The vertical rail will be always supplied with a power supply. In the horizontal line only we used to write the programs. Always the left side will begins with the input instruction, and the output side will ends with the, that is the right side will ends with the output instruction. Once again I will repeat. The horizontal line can be called as a rung, and the vertical line can be called as a rail. So the vertical rail will be powered with a power supply. In the horizontal line, the left side of the rung will always start with the input instruction. Right side of the rung will always ends with the output instruction, and the power supply will be flow from left to right or right to left based on our instruction. So each program statement is represented with the horizontal line. That is what I have explained. It is called as the rung, and the relevant inputs will be in the left side, and the output will be at the right side of the rung. So the output device of a rung is mainly energized if the electric power can conceptually flow from the left side of the rung to the right side. If there is any break in the program instruction, there is no power supply available, the output won't be activated. So the input devices are normally assumed to block the flow of power if they are not activated. So during the execution of the ladder program, so the PLC normally reads the states of all inputs. Then only it can determine what is the expected output, which is starting from the rung at the top side and going to the last rung. And finally, it can update the state of the output devices. So in each rung, we will have a basic instructions, and based on our programming algorithm, we can have the programs. And based on each rung, there is a continuity of output operation. So after reading all the input and output condition in each and every rung, then only the output will be updated. So the parts of ladder program is runs, branches, inputs and outputs for PLC programming, addressing inputs and outputs, and instructions. So this is, I already explained. So this is the rail. The vertical line will be called as rail and the horizontal line will be called as run. So next is, so either we can use the push button or any normally open contact or closed contact. So and another important thing is in each run we can at the left side we are having the input instruction. At the output side it can be closed only with the output instruction. For each run we have to use both the input instructions and output instruction, and the input may be parallel but the output cannot be parallel. For example, in this case we are having two input instruction which is connected in parallel, and here it is connected in series, but output in the output side we cannot have a parallel output instruction. So that we have to ensure while writing the program. Once again I will repeat. So in the input side we can have parallel instructions, but in the output side only we can have only one output instruction at the right side of the rung. So suppose if we have any parallel output instructions, it won't work, the program won't work. So next is naming convention. So that is how to address the inputs, outputs, and that we have to very clear. So because to identify the number of inputs, we can have n number of inputs, outputs, and memory flags, and also we can have timers and counter instruction. So we have to name the each and every instruction. So to identify which will be the input. For example, the normally open contact and normally closed contact, sometimes it may act as an input and sometimes the same can be represented to represent the output. So due to that, we have to provide the exact naming. So by using that naming only, we can able to identify whether it is an input or output. So normally for conventionally, it is standardized by all the programmers and all the vendors that the input with the letter input, we can identify the input with the letter I and output with the letter O. So followed by a 1-digit number, which is mainly used to identify the slot number, and it a 2-digit number with, which identifies the position of the input or output in the slot. For example, so here it is I1:00, so which refers to the first input of slot 1. So next is 02:00, so which that is, this is the first output, but it is available in slot 2, not in here the input will be available in slot 1. So some manufacturers numbers the inputs or output which is normally starting from 00. The other users use the number 01. So based on the vendor and based on the manufacturer, so the naming of the instruction will varies. So we have to thoroughly go through the manual before doing our programs. So for example, ABB PLC normally it can address the input as I0, I1, I2 up to IN. The output can be represented as Q0, Q1, Q2 up to Qn. If it is a Siemens PLC, that is the PLC is manufactured by Siemens, then the file types byte number or dot bit number. That is input address can be represented as IO.0, IO.1 up to we can use IO.7. Similarly, the output address will be represented as Q0.0, Q0.1 up to Q0.7. Suppose if it is manufactured by AB, then it is followed with slot number dot word number bar bit number. That is input address will be represented as I:0.0/0 up to you can have n number of inputs. Similarly, output address will be represented as O:0.0/0. If it is a Delta PLC and Mitsubishi PLC, excuse me, the input address will be represented as X0, X1 up to Xn, and the output address will be represented as Y0 up to Yn. So this is the sample addressing methods which is followed by different manufacturers. So based on the manufacturer, we have to identify, we have to go through the manual, and then we have to use the addressing of inputs and outputs while writing the program. So any doubt up to this? Any doubt up to this?
No, ma'am. Kindly proceed, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So next is programming. So that is what are all the sorry. So next is rules for PLC ladder programming. So as I already explained, the input can be used in series as well as parallel to form a connection. The input can be used in series as well as parallel to form a connection. However, the outputs or coil can be used only in parallel. So the one input can be used in multiple times in one program, and one output cannot be used multiple times in one program, except in set or reset and latch or unlatch functions. The input address cannot be used as an output address, and the output address can be used as a input address. Input address cannot be used as an output address. Input address வந்து output address use பண்ண முடியாது, whereas output address can be used as an input address. So these are all the rules we have to follow while writing the ladder program. So this is a simple program only by using the contacts and coils. So I have written a program. So the program statement is write a program to develop motor start or stop control station with a pilot lights. So that is the start switch is normally open push button and stop switch is normally closed push button. So when motor is on, the green pilot light should be on, and when motor is off, red pilot light should be on. So this is the program condition statement. So here I am using start button, which is represented as I1, that is input 1. For stop button, I am representing the address as I2, which is input 2. At last, I am having a coil as the output, which is represented as M1. Initially, I am representing this as a memory. So whenever the start button is on, the memory flag, so this flag will set as 1. So when this M1 is 1, the Q1 will be on. When M1 is on, the green pilot light will on. So when M1 is becomes 0, that is it is examine close. If it is active, then the red pilot light will on. So this is based on the condition. This is the program we have used. Once again, I will repeat. So for start button, I am using I1 switch. For stop, I am using I2. So initially, I am using one coil that I am using as a memory flag, because based on this input condition, we have to activate 3 outputs. So first, I am taking this as a memory flag. So when this become 1, this M1 will become 1. So normally the motor will be on. Q1 is a motor, the motor will be on. And also whenever the motor is on, as per the condition, the green pilot light has to on. So again, I am calling this memory flag and I am making my Q2 output coil will be energized. So green pilot light will be on. So when M1 will be off, that is, it is examined if closed, then the red pilot will on. So the by using the same condition, by using this one condition, I can able to activate 3 outputs. Is it clear? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No, ma'am. Okay, thank you. So this program instruction by timers and counters, so that will be taken by other faculty. So next is the advantages and disadvantages of ladder diagram. So the main pros of ladder diagram is it is the most popular PLC language, and online debugging and editing is possible, and it is easy to read and comment. So the main disadvantages, we are having only limited instruction, that is difficult to model motion or batching, because ladder logic strictly adheres to the on-off logic or hardwire relays. So this is the drawback of ladder logic diagrams. So the next programming language is a functional block diagram. So here the block-based programming languages we are using, which is mainly a graphical language. So this mainly minimizes the code into blocks. Instead of using the input-output instruction, here we are using it as a block. So that block will be comprises of inputs and outputs. So this is a simple way to create executable commands. Normally, functional block diagram in particular describes a function between input and outputs, which is mainly connected by connection lines. So the logic of inputs and outputs are mainly stored in blocks. A lot of same commands used in logic, ladder logic are used in functional block diagram. So this is the functional block diagram. Here we are having the input one, and in the right side we can get the output. This is a simple representation of functional block diagram. A simple program here, how this is the ladder diagram. The left side, the programs which is available in the left side, the right side of your screen is a ladder diagram programming. The same program, how it is implemented in functional block diagram, that is represented in the right side. So here, this is the AND logic. When both the input is high, we can get the output as high. So the same can be represented here, I0.0, I0.1. So in this block, we are having this AND symbol, and the output will be high when both the input will be high. So the next is OR program. So in ladder diagram, to implement the OR logic, so the input will be connected in parallel. So here it is connected in series. However, here it is connected in parallel. If any one of the input is high, so this coil will get energized. So then the output will be high. So the same thing can be represented in the functional block diagram. We are having two inputs A and B, and we are having one output Q. And the symbol what we are using, so we are what is the function block we are selecting is greater than or equal to 1. If any of the input is high, it will produce the output as Q. Next is feedback loop. So here, if A is high and B is high, we will get the output as Q. And suppose if Q and B is also high, we can get the output as Q. The same can be represented here. If A is greater than or equal to 1, then it can use the input to the AND gate, and B is another gate. So the output of this point and output of this point is high, then it can generate the feedback to this block. So similarly, we can have any number of, we can write any number of programs by using functional block diagram. So this is the simple example program, how to model a coffee tea vending machine as a functional block diagram model format. So here I am using two inputs, that is T on. So this is one block, this is another block. So this is the third block, it is an AND block. So here I am using the push button and timer. So the timer and the counter instruction, it will be briefly explained by the other expert member, probably in the next session. So here I am inserting the coins and the price. So whenever, and here we can able to choose what is the type of drink we need, either coffee or tea. So if all the input is high, that is here we have to select whether we are going to have a coffee or tea. And here we have to choose either coffee or tea. And here we have to insert the coins. If all these three command is high, then the AND block will produce the output as high. So due to that, we can get the drink, either coffee or tea, what we have chosen here. Suppose we are inserting the coin and we know what is the price of the coffee. Suppose if it is 10 rupees, but we have 5 rupees, we have inserted the coin as 10 rupee, then it can use the change also based on this instruction. So the source is Marinesco. So any doubt in the functional block diagram?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the next is the advantages and disadvantages of functional block diagram. So the main advantage of functional block diagram is it is great for motion controls, and visual blocks are easier to read. We can able to easily read the visual blocks and combine code for reuse. In functional block diagrams, blocks can be placed anywhere. Therefore, these diagrams can get messy and disorganized fairly easily. So this is about the disadvantage. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can we use this FPD in ABB?
So, sir, with the functional, these are all the available languages, sir. So, what is the software you have procured? Based on that, you can use the languages, sir. In our department, in Schneider PLC, it can support all 5 languages, sir. However, Siemens, it can support only 3 languages. What you are manufacturing, based on that only you can use the languages, sir.
We have Allen Bradley PLC.
Sir?
We have Allen Bradley PLC.
So what is the software you are using, sir? For
RS
example,
Logic.
GX Developer is available, Logo software is available. You check, sir. Yeah, while selecting the programming languages, you can check in your software, sir. It will show what are all the languages available.
Okay. Okay.
Based on your software, you have to select, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Any doubt, sir? So any doubt, sir? Shall I proceed? So next is structural text. So it is a high level language which is mainly used to designed to program the PLC. It is structural text is not a textual language. It strongly resembles the programming languages Pascal. Structured text looks very similar to BASIC or C programming, and this is mainly used for control system which requires mathematics or complex tasks. To perform the complex tasks in a control system, we can go for structured text, and trigonometry, calculus, and data analysis can also be implemented, which is easier in this language than in ladder diagram. So the programs are mainly written as a series of statements separated by semicolons. So this is about the structured text. Once again, I will repeat, it is a programming language which mainly strongly supports the Pascal. It is like similar to BASIC or C programming. So this structured text programming can be mainly, we can go for structured text programming to control the complex tasks. And the programs are written as a series of statements which is separated by semicolons. So this is the simple naming convention with what we are following in the structured text. So percentage IX 100, which represent input memory bit 100. Percentage ID 200, which represents input memory word 200. Percentage QX 100, which represents output memory bit 100. So the first letter I for input memory location, Q for output memory location, and M represents the internal memory. The second letter is X for bit, B for byte, and W for word, D for double word, or L for long word. So based on the second digit, we can able to find out whether it is a 8-bit or 16 bits or 32 bits or 64 bits. So these are all the some structured text operators. So this parenthesized bracket expression and a function, list of parameters of a function, stars are raising to a power, slash not, negation or boolean not, star represents for multiplication, slash for division, and MOD represents the modulus operation. Plus operator can be used for addition, and minus sign can be used for subtraction. And the lesser, greater, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to can be represented like this. And equality, inequality can be represented by using this symbol. And Boolean AND can be performed by using this instruction. XOR or Boolean XOR operation can be represented as XOR. Boolean OR function can be represented as OR. So the next is a programming structure. So normally the assignment statements are used to indicate how the value of the variable is changed. So here I am writing a code that light colon equal to switch A. So here this one represents the output and this one represents the input. So based on the input condition, we can get the output. So if switch A is active, then the light will be on. So this is by using some conditional statement, if then else is used when selected statements are to be executed when certain conditions occur. So for example, so we are going to process a drilling process. I am considering here a drilling process. So if limit switch and workpiece present, limit switch and workpiece, if there is any workpiece present, then gate 1 will be open and gate 2 will be closed. Else gate 1 will be closed and gate 2 will be open. And we have to end the if condition. That is, we have to drill the workpiece. If the workpiece is present, so gate has to open and it has to press the workpiece, or otherwise it will be in closed condition. So based on our requirement, you have to use if else condition and you have to end the if. So this is for conditional statement by using case for controlling the temperature. So if case temperature off, that is we have to the furnace switch should be on. So if it reaches the particular temperature, we have to off the furnace. So we have to use the off switch, and else we have to end the furnace switch off. That is, we are going to control the temperature. So up to 40, if the temperature, it will check the temperature. So up to 100, up to it reaches 100, the switch will be in on condition. 100 is my limit, so it will off the furnace switch. So like that I have programmed by using case and end case conditions. So this is the example for iteration statements. So here we are using the for and do iteration statement. For input 102 0 by1 02 by 1 do, output will be input for end for. That is, up to this it can produce the output. Once this instruction is equal to output is equal to input, then it can, the condition will be closed and it can end the for loop. So similarly we can use while, do, repeat until, etc. So the main advantages and disadvantages of structured text is, so the advantages, any PLC that requires complex data handling will most likely use ST to basic C or C++, more flexible than ladder diagram. It runs faster and requires very less space. So the main disadvantages, difficult to debug and edit only. Any doubt up to this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So next is instruction list. So this is it consists of series of instruction in a program, and in each instruction consists of an operator which is followed by one or more operands. So instruction list is a low level textual language which is simple to implement. So it is equivalent to assembly languages. That is, it is suitable for small and straightforward programs. So assembly languages, we all know in microprocessor we are using the assembly languages. So by using mnemonics we can implement the program. So the same thing we are following in the instruction list. So here, so based on the vendor, so here IEC 611313, Mitsubishi, Omron, Siemens. So based on the vendor, the representation of the instruction will get varies, but the basic operation will remain same. So here this is LD. So in Mitsubishi, Omron we are using LD only, but Siemens it is represented as A. So this instruction is mainly a load operand into input register. So that is start a run with open context. It always start a run with open context. Next is LDN. LDN is a load negative operand into result register. In Mitsubishi, we are representing it as LDI. In Omron, LD not. In Siemens, we are using AN. So this instruction is used to close context. That is start a run with closed context. Here it is represents normally open context. This represents normally closed context in ladder diagram. So next is AND. So here Mitsubishi, Omron representing same, but in Siemens it is A. So this is mainly used to perform the Boolean AND operation. Here series element with open context. That is the AND if it is AND, in ladder diagram it is a series elements with open context. Next is AND N. It is Boolean AND with a negative operand. In Mitsubishi it is represented as ANI. In Omron we are representing it as AND not. In Siemens AN. But in ladder diagram, it is a series elements with closed context. Next is OR. It is used to perform the Boolean OR operation. ORN it is used to perform Boolean OR with negative operand. And XT is a store result register into operand. So, but in Mitsubishi and Omron, we are representing it as out. In Siemens, we are using equal symbol. So, based on the manufacturer, the programming languages, that is the addressing of the programming languages and the instruction list, the style what we are following will varies, but the basic operation behind each and every instruction will remain same. So this is the program. So that is a single lamp is required to be switched on if a pump is running and the pressure is satisfactory, or if the lamp test switch is closed. That is the program is this program represents in ladder diagram. So by the same thing will be converted by using the instruction list. So here we are using the pump, and we are having one normally open contact for pump, one normally open contact for pressure, and here we are using the test. So this is a parallel connection, and at the output side we are using the lamp, and also we are using the end operation. So we are loading the pump operation, that is LD X400, so and X401. These two is high. This X400 and X401 is high. It can load, that is it can produce the OR output, that is ORB, then the output will be high, and it can end the operation. Once again, I will repeat. Here we are having X440 and X401. It is connected in series. So that's why we are representing AND operation. That is LD X400 is ANDed with X401. How loading this input? So LD X402 ORB. So these two will be now this series connection, this parallel connection will be ORed here. So accordingly, it can produce the output, that is Y430. Once the output is high, it can end the instruction. So the same ladder diagram will be represented by using the instruction list. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the advantages of instruction list is it is best for compact code, for time critical code, and only one command per line. So the main disadvantage is more difficult to resolve errors. So this is the disadvantage of instruction list. So next is sequential function chart. It is a graphical programming language which mainly mimics a flow chart. Normally we in the data structure and in all C programming, we used to have a flow chart. So the sequential function chart will also represent, it's a graphical programming language which mainly mimics the flow chart. So it can use the step-by-step procedure and the steps and transition to get output. We always use the steps and transition to get output. Steps are function within the program and house events that are activated based on state and other specified conditions. Transitions are instruction based on true or false values that move you from one step to another. Steps we are representing the programs. Transition based on the output of the step, it can transmit the instruction from one level to the other level. So branches are mainly used to initiate the multiple steps at a time. So the branches normally act like threads where function can run concurrently. So all of these steps, transition and branches are housed in a series of scripts which mainly execute a procedural manner. So this is the simple example by using structure text. So we are first the same program can be represented by using ladder diagram. When this input is high, it can energize the output. So when this output 1 is high and the input 2 is high, or the other coil output 2 is energized, and it can end the section. So we are having two branches and one transition. So whenever the start button is pressed and the input 1 is energized, so this is the first step, it can produce this output 1. So when this output 1 is 1, it can transition to the next step, which is step 2. So it can produce this output 2 and the end session will be activated. So this is for structure text programming. So sorry, sequential function chart programming. So the main advantage is it can break large processes into major steps. The great for real-time debugging. It can see exactly where the fault happened because it is implemented as a step-by-step procedure, and with many branches and transitions, so we can able to debug the faults which has happened in the program and faster design process. The main drawback is it is depends on application. The usage of this SFCs depends on the what type of application we are using. So this is about the different basic instructions and the different programming languages available in PLC. So for we have discussed all 5 different languages and some of the basic instructions. So any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now I request my research scholar and she will explain how to program by using Courses software. Priyadarsini. Yeah, I am closing my screen and she will share her screen. Can you able to see the screen?
No, ma'am.
Now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for another 20 minutes, she will explain how to program by using Courses. She is Mrs. Priyadarshini, doing her full-time research under my guidance in MIT for past 3 years. Almost she is in the finishing stage of completing her PhD. And before registering her PhD, she worked as assistant professor in Sairam Engineering College in the Electronics and Instrumentation Department. So I am happy to introduce her.
Good morning, all. So now we'll just introduce ourselves into Codesys language. So Codesys is actually an open source software where you can simulate PLC programs in almost all languages, all 5 languages, like how ma'am said, ladder logic, FBD, STIL, and SFC. So Codesys is an open software. You can put it up in your laptops. Go to codesys.com and this software, Codesys. Go to codesys.com and you'll get a download. Download it and install in the laptop. So now I'll show a few one-line programs, how to use Codesys, where to find the tools, and what screens are all available in, what are the functionalities that are available in the Codesys. So you'll have to start a new project. In the new project, don't go for empty project. All these are for automation purposes. For laboratory purposes, you can use standard project. Title yours as a basic for the device. So in laboratories or when you are giving assignment for students, we will be asking them to use their laptops only. So they can use whatever feature they have. And then first let us start with the ladder logic diagram. So you'll have a screen like this showing the devices, and here is the toolboxes. So here you have a icon, like it is a graphical. You can see the difference between a graphical language and a textual language here. You'll be having icons like this with diagrams if it is going to be a graphical language, and you will be having a notepad like structure when you are going to have a textual language. So click this PLC programming and you will get the programming screen. So in this programming screen, when you are using ladder logic, come to the toolbox side. The right side is the toolbox side. You have ladder elements. I'll show drag and drop it, and this is, you can name them as input, and it will ask for the data type. I'm using it as a switch, so we'll have a boolean, and for the output you can just take a coil and place it here and say this is a motor that is going to run when the switch is closed. Again, the motor is either on or off condition and it is a boolean type. Okay, now the procedure to see or test your program is go to the online mode. You'll have the simulation phase. Click simulation and check whether your program is in simulation mode. Once again, go to online mode and give login. This login will ask you whether you are doing it on the correct device. Provide that is your device because you have selected that device in the earlier stage. So now it has come into simulation mode. Now for the input in the prepared value, just toggle the screen. Do a double click or a single click, just toggle the screen and give the value as true. To see your output, go back to debug, start the program and just write the values and you'll get the output of a motor. And if at all you want to switch it off, give a false, again debug, write value and you'll see you can toggle the motor this way. So this is a simple ladder logic program and I have some more basic programs. So this is a basic input output. Now, if you want to add any contact in parallel, I just go into out of the simulation mode, log out myself. All right, now click on this block and here you can see insert contact parallel below. Or if you want to insert NC contact, you have an NC contact here. So this is a NC contact and now we'll look into the concept of latch. So this is a latching concept. You have an input, you have an output. The coil of that output, internal relay of the output is given as the input again. Now this latching, to look into the working of it, let us log in. Okay. All right, now I've turned on the input. I'm writing the value and the motor turns on. Now, when I switch off the input, still the motor is on. So this is called as latching, memory latching. So applications where we use a memory latching are when you want it to have an output excited even if there is a cut or a power disrupt. These are for not high-end applications. You are not supposed to use all these kind of like the entire output, the motor or the pump or the boiler. All those things should not be given in this way. You can either call the motor as again an internal relay, then you can start with the latchings. This is just for the purpose of demonstration. We have given the motor itself as a internal relay. So this is the concept of latching. So here we have the logic gates as usual. So this is how XOR gate is excited. And one more feature of using this courses is you can see these programs visually also. So there is something called as visualization. So you have to go to application, add object, visualizations, add your visualization screen. So here we'll be having a front panel just like any softwares like LabVIEW and all. So it will take some time. So here you are having some front panel icons. Just drag and drop a lamp because our program, I think it is a input and a motor. So for the input, I'll just take a dips. You can go to the common controls and label them as input, and this, just imagine this as a motor. So once you have built,
Yeah.
once you have built the screen, click on the icon that you have created and go to the variables here. Now you have to map whatever icons you have taken, you have to map it to your visualization item you have taken, you have to map it to your PLC program. So go to applications, I've clicked on the switch. So in your PLC, the input is a switch. So map it just like this. And now go to motor again, check the variable of the motor for the lamp. Now, if you want to see your visualization screen in the same PLC screen, just drag the visualization screen and put it in this icon so that you can see your declaration, your program and your visualization screen in the same part. Now, the procedure is the same. Go to online mode, simulation. Once it is simulated, log into your device, say yes, and go to debug, start. Now, when you give an input, your motor is going to get excited. When you give your input, your motor is going to be excited. So this software is for free and you can do larger projects also. Once you are familiar with the software, you can do larger projects and like they are even doing research projects here in our department with courses. You can connect it to Raspberry Pi, you can connect it to other languages like MATLAB and all, programs like MATLAB and all. So this is how courses, a ladder logic runs in courses. So other programs we had for timers. So this is just to show from where to take the icon. Again, go to your PLC properties, tools. In ladder elements, you have all T on, T off, counter, move, jump, everything is here. So just to show from where to take the off timer and the on timer from this program, I have set two, one for the counter basic and for the timer basic, up down counter and down, up counter and down counter here, and timer here, and we'll see. So this is a program showing an example with both timers and counters. So when you start, you have, this is a on timer. So when you have to preset your time for, we have preset our time for 10 seconds. When you start, your timer starts counting for 10 seconds. Once this is start and when your 10 seconds is reached, you will have the output of the timer and done bit of the timer here, and done. Remember that done bit is given as a NC coil here. So once you start, the timer will start. Once you start, if at all your sensor. So this is actually a problem where you are, say you're filling 5 bottles, and that 5 bottles, when it is coming into the conveyor, the sensor is actually to find, like it is a proximity sensor. It will detect whether the bottle has come to position or what. So when the sensor is also high, your counter will start counting, and this will count how many number of bottles we have filled. So if we say for one batch it is 5 bottles of Pepsi or Coke, it will count only 5 times, and then it will just cut off itself. So the same, and when you come to visualization, don't get confused to see timers or counters here. You can see only the inputs, outputs here. So this is timer done bit, this is the counter done bit, and these are the inputs.
Ma'am,
start.
excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, actually the screen is different. It seems earlier screen only appears now.
Which screen, sir? Sorry.
Presentation, we can able to see the earlier program only with the motor on off. The timer now, what you are saying is not appearing in this, not visible.
Oh, I'll check it, sir.
Yes,
Is it
now
visible?
yeah, now it's okay.
Okay, okay. So the previous timer, basic timer and counter was not visible, sir.
Yes, not visible initially.
Now the screen is visible. This is only using timer.
No, ma'am, it has timer and counter. Ma'am. Screen has timer and counter.
Some problem with the bandwidth, sir. Now is it visible, sir? Timer alone?
Yeah, timer up counter, T on T up counter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a basic program. This is to show from where you can handle T on and T off. So again, in the ladder elements, you have T on, T off. According to your application, you can use T on or T off. So for T on, it will have all these variables. Like you'll have the input, you have to excite it, and it will ask you for the preset time, and it will give you a done bit. So this done bit, you will have to use it in your program for whichever application you have to excite it after the timing. So I'll just run this program and see how T on and T off, the visualization. This is the so I'll just put it in the same screen. Now I'll start the simulation. Login. Yes. So go to debug and start. So this is for T on and this is for T off. Once you have the excitation after 3 seconds. So here you can see the preset time is 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, the timer on done bit is high. And now let's see what happens to T off. When I start, T off is already on. After 7 seconds, All right, let me check with the program.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Sir, okay, I'm sorry. So this is the functioning of a off timer. So it works when it is a negative pulse. So when it is on, your timer is on. Again, when a negative pulse goes, your off timer starts working. So after 7 seconds, your timer is off. So this is the applications where you have to use on and off. Similar is the counters also. So let us go to other. I'll show some other languages also. So this is for ladder logic. And if you want to go for a functional block diagram, again use a standard program and say you're going to use a functional block diagram. Okay. So here you'll have to change it into a functional block diagram. So functional block diagram has internally all the applications that it should have. Like you don't have to use 2 NC gates for a. So now see the icon here, it is like a functional block diagram. So here you don't have 2 NC contacts for a AND gate. You can simply go to the function block or the Boolean operators, take 2 AND gates and say this is input 1 or that is the switch 1, say I'll write switch 1. So it is a Boolean type. Switch 2, again it is a Boolean type, and I'll add a so now if you want to view this functional block diagram as a ladder logic, you can view it here, and here I'll add so now you have your functional block diagram. Again, you have to do the same simulation, login to your device, then start, and here you have to force the values, like you have to write the values. When switch 1 is alone, true, and switch 2 is false, the output of the AND gate is false. When both switches are true and write the values, you'll have a true output. So this is how functional block diagrams are going to work. Let us also see another. I don't think here you'll get IL. So for some programs, you can get all 3 versions of the program: functional block diagram, ladder logic diagram, and it can also be viewed as a instruction list. For this simple program, we don't have a instruction list. Instruction lists are again very easy. You just have to give a load command and then just store. For this particular, we'll do similarly, you can go for a structure test. Again, structure test, all these are textual languages. So in structural test, initially, kindly declare the variables in the program. Like you have a motor. You have a motor that is of Boolean type, and you have a switch again of Boolean type. Now coming to the programming part, you just have to assign motor works. This is the So this is the assignment statement in structural work. Motor is equal to, it is a semicolon equal to start. Now, start simulation. Oh, sorry, it is switch. So whatever you declare, so again you get the application screen. You can do visualization for any languages, all 5 languages you can do visualization, and you can get your output in visualization screen itself. So again you have to toggle your screen here and write the values. So when your switch is false, your motor is false. When your switch is true, some problem. All right. Always start your that start was the mistake here. So when your switch is true, motor is true, and when switch is false, motor is false. The same implies for IL and SFC also. So these 3 or 4 languages that I covered are with simple basic examples, and kindly look into the other examples in the further classes. Thank you.
Sir, shall I finish, sir? Simulation, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, kindly share that
Yes, sir.
software link, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Also, your PPT kindly share, mail it or send to WhatsApp.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Share
sir.
with the participants.
Sir, before